My brother is really physically fit. He's been working on getting me into the gym. I've slowly been reaching that point where I actually, rather than having a feeling of dread when I look at a gym, I'm actually starting to look forward to it. But
that's awesome.
When he comes with me, he drags me up mountains. He's like, I feel like a mouse, and he's like dropping cheese on the trail. Like, just go a little farther. You got one more switchback. Come on, and he drags me up there. He's very patient with me. But yeah, I like spending time outside.
I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but going to the gym can sometimes feel like going to church. Right? Sometimes
I like church way better.
I agree with you.
It's going to be me and Khalil.
Yeah. Here's why. Because I know I love going to church, but there's some days where it's like, I just don't feel like going. I gotta like drag myself to go. But I know that's where like the will comes in.
Yeah.
If I can just get out the door and get to church, I'm gonna love it. Like I'm gonna appreciate being there. Hopefully 9 times out of 10, I walk out feeling refreshed. Like, why don't I do this more often? Right? I've got to get to the spiritual gym on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
But then it's like the following Sunday, oh man, I'd rather stay home and have my coffee, especially with COVID. It's so much easier to live stream mass.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And it's kind of like that once you get to that point of where you actually look forward to going to the gym, or the point you can't imagine not going because you feel horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's the same thing in our faith oftentimes. It's like going to church or going to pray. At first it's like, ugh. But then it gets to the point
when you do it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's where like the discipline comes in, and then understanding like the long-term game.
Yeah.
Because it's like just with prayer, it's similar with the gym. Sometimes you're going to have days that are it's really bad. You really like both with exercise and with prayer.
Yeah.
But if you stick to it and you still put in the effort and the time with either, you're going to reap this huge reward down the road. So there's this long-term game.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with prayer, because it's like, most people, one of the first times they are really challenged is when they have like a dry period of prayer.
Yeah.
But they just really don't feel like God's present at all. And but
so it's almost like you've plateaued in your prayer life.
Yeah.
I've hit a plateau. What do I do? Do I just give up? Like it's been a couple days, couple weeks, couple months where it's like this. I'm not getting any sense of consolation.
No more gains.
No more
no
gains.
more spiritual gains. So
what you're kind of faced with that same dilemma.
Yeah. Well, and I think the hardest part is, especially with prayer, it's like you might have a dry spell that goes like some people years, months, and it's like when you're a beginner and you're challenged with that, you have to really persevere. And and that's where that discipline comes in, that willpower.
Yeah. That's
to like
absolutely certain. And that's actually, I think, one of the beautiful things about our Catholic tradition, and especially in terms of prayer, is that will is the most essential element. Obviously we also hope that our prayer like emotionally and psychologically brings us peace. And of course, we also hope that that we do it well, and that the actions or whatever we're, whether we're saying prayers or meditating, whatever, we hope all those things go well.
Yeah.
But even when the actions don't go well, things we're sleepy or we're tired or the the emotional experience of it is just not there. So long as the will is present, there's still prayer happening.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because there's like this revitalization in popular culture, especially in like self-help, self-discipline, all that stuff. So there's this one guy that I'll follow. His name is Jocko Willink.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Ex-Marine, like this is the guy, or SEAL, and he would train other SEALs. Like he was, this guy is just a complete, just tough, stereotypical, just all around hardcore dude.
Yeah.
Hardcore. And so, but now he's out of that, and he's doing self-help, he's coaching, he's trying to really help people better their lives. But he's got this thing that he goes around saying, discipline equals freedom. And it's being broadcasted like it's a new thing. There's nothing new about that. 2,000 years of Catholic tradition, and even before that, we know that discipline equals freedom. Right? You look at the earliest, saints who went out into the wilderness because they wanted to tame their desires. They wanted to gain mastery over themselves. They knew in doing that, they would be free. That in following Christ, being a follower, putting that yoke on, you actually gain freedom. And so when I see all this stuff, it's kind of like detached from being grounded in God, who's objective. It can still help you, but it still leaves you longing and wanting for more.
Sure.
So that will has to be accompanied by knowledge. And so you have to know what's good.
Yeah.
I know that, like we're talking about confession, we will. I know that confessing my sins will be good. I've got to choose it.
Yeah.
And that's where they
Sure.
work hand in hand.
Because it's almost like, even if you think like we know as human beings that vegetables are good for us. And so if you have a point that you can even like choose that, like eating a salad, even if you don't feel like it, you still know it's going to be good for you because you know it's like, and like the more you have the ability to freely choose that, it actually helps you. You actually are happier in the long run when you have the ability to choose outside of just like your cravings.
No, that's great because like one of the funniest things about the human body is like because you have to use your will to conquer you know, how you feel. Because like a lot of the times the feelings of our body actually cause us harm.
Yeah,
it's like overeating.
Yeah,
you know? It's like
we hate it.
Like we're really bad about that.
I might have done that once or twice.
Well, because like our body keeps saying it's hungry even when it's not. Sometimes, and then like especially in America, you know, we struggle with you know, a lot of like health issues pertaining to too much weight and stuff. So it's like sometimes our feelings are not actually like leading us to good.
It actually doesn't make us happy in the long run.
So you have to overcome them.
Yeah.
I was talking to my cousin this past weekend, whom I love, and he's 20. I think he's turning 21. It was just I felt like having this conversation with him about feelings, like heart knowledge versus head knowledge.
Yeah.
That's the conversation we were having.
Yeah.
He was so grounded in heart knowledge, right? And I feel like that's what drives a lot of the culture today. That's what I think drives the culture today is heart knowledge. We see that with like the protesting. We see that with like the Twitter rants, and we see that in the news. We see that in pop culture. And heart knowledge can be good. We shouldn't disregard heart knowledge. But if you don't have that balanced and grounded in head knowledge, like thinking through what is good, what is bad.
Yeah.
You know, what, Bob, you had said something like, what, when you're faced with a decision, what good will it do? Like grounding. Okay, I feel some way.
Yeah.
But what good will this decision actually do?
Yeah. Well,